Hey guys, this is Isaac, and this is episode 3 of my live show help tutorial series. So today we're going to be this episode is going to be about the class list and your show string. So what I do is I normally take I always have this clipboard with me to every show. I kind of put horse stickers all over it, and I always have a whole bunch of paper in it. And so what I did is I took and I wrote traditionals and classics, and then stablemates. And so what I did is I looked at every single one of my horses and wrote down their name and their breed. And I didn't really worry about gender because I know all these horses by the back of my hand. To the point where I sometimes can't even remember their OF name because I use their show name so much. So all I did was write down name, their show name, and their breed. And I did the same with the stablemates. Except stablemates, I kind of need show names because they don't really have OF names too much. So then I took that, and I took these papers, and I wrote out the class list, like class 1 foals, because they always break it down in divisions. So there's always the foals, the light, the gaited, the Spanish, the sport, the stock, the draft, the ponies, the others, etc. So they always break it down into championship, or the divisions. I'm sorry, divisions. And so I always looked, and I would always remember, all right, who was the foal and who wasn't. So I looked at the foals. I found foals that I only have these guys, really, and then classic. But I always prioritize on the list by scale. So I would always go traditionals first, classics, and then stablemates. So it's just a little bit easier for me that way. So I wrote out everywhere. So I just remember, alright, so I'd look here, look at my packet, or not really my packet, but my list, and I'd look and scroll down until I say, oh, okay, so here is AP Endless Pride, which is my Zenyatta's colt. And next to him I have the breed. So, and that's kind of, alright, so since I always have my foals together, and I know I have 5 foals, so I'll look at the 5, and there it is. So I'd always, then, after that, I would go look at their breeds, and distinguish which class they would go in, whether it be the Appaloosa, or the Arabs, sport, or stock, etc. I'd write their names down next to the class. Then I always write it on pencil and paper, and then later, more closer to the show, when I have my class list completely finalized, I type it out and I print it. But I always leave room to where I can, if I get a new horse, I'm switching a horse out, I just kind of I'm able to write it out beside what they have. And so I just kind of go through that until I reach all of it out of all the classes. Then I just, alright, so there's my class list. There's my show string. Then I always make sure, alright, how many horses do I want to take? Most classes have a limit on how many horses you can have in each class. And the show I go to, Lone Star Live, has 4 horses per class, but if you want to add more, it's $1 per extra horse that you lay in front of the horse, and the judge comes around and picks up the $1. So you're good. And so you always want to see, alright, so how many thoroughbreds do I have? Well, I have technically 1. I have Sato. Alright, so let's do these quarter horses. How many quarter horses do I have? Well, I have 2, 4. I have 4 quarter horses. And so I'm like, okay, or technically I have 5, but one's stone. And they always break it up from stones to briars and etc. like that. So you'd always just see, alright, so I have so-and-so, and if you end up getting a horse at the show, and that class is already full, and I would always bring a breed book, which I don't know where mine went. Oh, mine's right here. I have this cute little bitty pocket-sized one. So it's about the size of my hand. I would always look through. I know this doesn't have all the breeds, but it's got a majority of them. And I would just look, just kind of flips, okay, so let's just have let's just say I get another Flash, and I show him as a Morgan. But I am full on the Morgan class. So I would take, sorry, let me get the page. Alright, so I would take them, so I would take my gray Flash, my gray Flash, that would look through my book. Just kind of flip, 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 until I find a breed that can look like him, that's kind of suitable for him, which would be a Connemara. So I'll just kind of write down. I always bring like extra index cards. You can either have the huge ones or these standard sized ones, which I always keep in this nice little box here. So because you never want to put a book, it doesn't matter how big or how small it is, you never want to put a book, because that is discourteous to the judge, and it just shows you don't really care so much. Even though you can be the most enthusiastic, the most caring person about like showing and everything, but if you put down a book, they'll think you don't. And you don't want to like put as much effort into it when you do. So that's why you'd never really want to put a book. And plus it's also courteous to have like about the size, just having right in front of it, to where it doesn't take up a whole bunch of space. Alright, so then we go into here. I have this nice little model horse show notebook, or binder. And it's got my table of contents, the envelope that I have to where I keep all my ribbons, and the table of contents on which tab is for what show. Like, for this tab, this is my first open show, so this is Lone Star Live 2013. And I have my showstring all printed out and ready to go. And then here is, I made this for my placings, and I always take this out and put it on my my clipboard, because it's got the name of the horse, the breed, the class, and the placing. And so this one's always double judged. It's got breed and collectability. So I would have, because Cutest Nightmare Paint, I sold him. Alright, let's just kind of pick out a good one. Alright, Valentine's Day, or my Gigi Valentine. I had her in the European Warm Blood Mare. Now, she won that class and got 4th in collectability. So I just kind of wrote for breed, she got a 1st, and for collect, she got a 4th. So I'd always write that down to where it'd be a lot more easier, because I'm the only one who, my mom goes with me, but she doesn't really do anything. She just kind of sits there. So I pretty much do absolutely everything with this. It's always nice to have a little helper, but sometimes you don't have one of those. And then let's talk about your horse list, which is very, very vital and important that you have one. Because especially if you're entering a NAN qualifying show, to where you can get the NAN cards and go to Nationals, North American, or NAN, which is the North American Nationals of model horse, which is the say the Super Bowl of model horse showing, or something like that, if you will. So pretty much you have your MCAT number, and you will actually email or you can even message the judge on Facebook, or the show holder on Facebook, and she'll give you an email to where you can email the person if you want. So let's just say they'll give you an MCAT number. Let's just say it is 532. That is your MCAT number. You always put your address, your phone number, your email, and your name. And so for the MCAT number, you would put 532001. You always want to start with that, where you can have your horse name. I'll just put Buttercup as a quarter horse. That didn't work out. Ginger Filly. And then it's a Briar, so it'd be OFP for of plastic. And you just kind of make your way down like 002, 003, 004, and so on and so forth, making sure you have your MCAT number written down with it. Alright, so then I will actually show you more about this in the next episode, because I am running out of time. So that is pretty much it. Make sure you watch out for the next episode, which is tags and more in detail for the horse list and such. So that's pretty much it. Bye!